Hello. I'm working on, not that I mind being on camera. I don't mind being on camera, but I'm working on posture, where I'm sitting, the angle, my voice, hence my mini microphone here. Um, I don't think I need a microphone. I have such a teacher's voice where I feel like I talk very loud when I need kids' attention, and there's multiple kids. And when they get to chatting, it gets louder. And so I'm pretty good at raising my voice when it needs to be raised. But I don't think that's the purpose of the little mini microphone. I think it's to amplify the sound so that I sound clearer to you who are listening. Without further ado, so I'm here to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Leslie. I am a former educator. I wouldn't even say former quite yet. I'm still just removed from the classroom. I'm hanging on to it a little bit, sort of. But I've been in the system, the educational system, for 15 plus years. I've been teaching for a long time. I've taught in different states, certified and licensed in math and science, and different districts, different policies, lots of things I've learned along the way. And as of late, education has taken, well, I have lots of thoughts about the educational system, but I've learned so much that I've decided that um, for me, moving forward, I think to get more meaning out of it, because I feel like a lot of things have changed in recent years. And for me, the meaning of education, or the to get more meaning out of it as an educator, wanting to help and service kids, that I want to teach my way. I want to teach the way that I want to teach. And you're allowed to do that in your classroom in most districts. Some districts are a little bit more of sticklers in how you teach and the approach that you take, and a lot of other things. But I've always taught my way in the classroom with lots of students. I feel like moving forward for me, wanting to teach my way uh, means that I want it to be more meaningful for students and parents at the same time, right? I want them to get what it is that they want exactly out of education, or being educated, or learning. And so I decided to take this path. It's not just about tutoring for me, it's about offering my services and my experience and my expertise that I've gained along the way to better service students in the way that means something to them, and for parents to see the value in their students' success, educational success, and whatever that means to the students. It's not the same for every student. And I've learned that as a teacher. Every student has their own level of success when it comes to learning content and material. And every parent has their expectation of their student success at school, in the classroom, right? And so, yeah, to gain more, more meaning along this path of education, I wanted to do it my way. I wanted to do it where it felt purposeful and meaningful, not just for myself, but for those that I choose, or those that choose me to serve them. With that being said, I wanted to let you know that most of my career has been in middle school, and I've taught some high school courses, but most of it's middle school. A big chunk of it is middle school. I started teaching math and science. I started teaching science, was converted into math and science. And then I went back when I moved states to mostly science, only applying for science jobs with intention. Math is one of those subjects early on for me that I felt was very in depth, right? Those are high stake, reading and math, if you didn't know this, are high stakes subjects because the state uses those results to demonstrate to the government, or to the stakeholders, that their curriculum or their practices, their approach, their policies all of that is working and that students are getting better, right? So they look to test those subjects to use as a part of a larger scaled incentive from other people who have a stake in education, right? Stakeholders. Okay. Um, yeah. So I don't want to go on a rant about that, but so I did well in math when I did teach it. I did well. My students improved a lot. It was a lot to break down math into parts that worked for me and worked for my students, whether it was small group work or rotating students so that I saw everybody at least once or twice a week. It was a lot of planning. And yes, when you plan that in depth, you're guaranteed to see growth um, in students. You're guaranteed, right? It's guaranteed. You've broken down a lot of things to help to make sure those students are meeting their benchmarks or meeting their I forgot the word that quick, but they're gaining what they're supposed to gain along the way. It's going to come to me and I'm going to shout it in the middle of the video. Don't mind me. But I said all that to say that I did well in math. It was just a lot for me. And so when I left the state that I left, by the way, I'm licensed to teach in Illinois, California, and Nevada. So when I left one state and I was done teaching math, it was a lot for me. And again, had really, really, really great results. My students gained and grew tremendously in a year, right? After breaking down math into the way that I broke down math to help those students. So my track record's good for math. I just didn't want to anymore. I don't know. It just felt like I didn't like people telling me that I did a good job because my students grew, right? I felt like I put a lot of work into them, and no matter if they gained a lot on those high stakes tests or not, they're standardized tests, my students gained a lot of my attention and skill sets that they'll be able to use as they move forward. Whether they grew or not shouldn't have been hanging the dangling string for them or for me. So I moved out of math for that reason. So I only applied to science jobs in middle school when I left the state into the new state, right? So I didn't even let them know that I had a math endorsement or that I was certified in math. And I obviously was hired for science jobs sixth grade. I taught sixth grade one year. I taught seventh grade, sixth and seventh grade one year. And then I taught seventh and eighth another year, and then just eighth and another year. So I've moved across the middle school spectrum tremendously, right? The kids leaving late elementary to go into middle school, those sixth graders who are still elementary, and then they transition into full-on sixth graders about halfway through. And then I've taught the middle group, the seventh graders who are right in between, and those lovely eighth graders. They're my favorites of the three. But those eighth graders who are ready to move on to high school and have their own agenda and the way they want to do things and the way they want to handle things, so I love that about them. They are the most recent group that I taught, so they kind of stick out in my head. But anyway, so I moved into science, and because I moved back and forth in middle school, sixth grade one year, then sixth and seventh another, then seventh and eighth another year, then eighth, that took up a lot more of my career. And then I was asked to teach an online course for high schoolers, right? And a college level course, right? In a specific area, like in environmental studies. And I taught it for 2 or 3 years. I can't remember now, but that was amazing. It was absolutely awesome. I gained so much insight teaching high school, and high school is a different level of teaching, right? You've got a lot of kids that have lots of things going on. They're almost adults. They're transitioning into that adulthood. I only taught 12th grade. So they are independent, they have jobs, they drive, they have responsibilities and things to do. And it's so interesting teaching that group. But I taught it for I want to say 3 years, I think I taught it. And because I remember different sets of students, and it was great. I loved it. I gained so much. And so then, yeah, I went back into middle school. I never really stopped teaching middle school. I think I taught an online course for someone online, and then I was still simultaneously going into the classroom. So it was kind of like a mix in between. And then I left, well, recently left or leaving the classroom as a middle school teacher. But again, I taught science, right? So in my middle school career, I went to science. And so that was a chunk of my middle career. Now transitioned back into math. So someone in another state found out when I renewed my license that I could teach math because it was always on there, but when you only apply for a science job, you assume that that's all they want or that's all they see or they need to see to hire you. And so I only applied for science jobs. And then there came a time where I'm guessing there was a math shortage. Well, there's a teacher shortage, but there's a math shortage. And I don't know if they decided to start looking at credentials of teachers in the building. And lo and behold, they found out you can teach math. Well, that's where you're teaching next year. Yeah. I won't say under protest. It was just a transition that I wasn't ready for, right? Because I had gotten comfortable in science and building my knowledge and how I explain things, and so many lessons that I created, planned, recorded, lots of things I've gained in teaching years and years of science, now back into math, right? And so I had to transition back into math and at a higher level math than I taught before, pre-algebra, which is just the early stages of algebra. So if I can teach algebra as well. But those early stages, the pre-algebra students are the students that aren't as comfortable taking algebra quite yet, right? They've got some foundational skills that they need so a lot of practice with. And so I had to relearn the material with my students, and that was awesome. And I mean that. It was awesome that getting back into math, I was like, oh, I remember, I love this, I like this, breaking things down, explaining things, making it make sense to my students, right? That was a huge deal for me. Like, it was another bright moment in my teaching career. Like, oh my gosh, I'm good at this. Like, some of my kids get it, some of my kids didn't, but sometimes math is, you'll see some statistics that I post that sometimes students, they write off math before they ever decide to like it, right? And so sometimes it's hard and difficult to work with students who have already formed a wall up about math, right? And so from that, brought me to this place, the place where I've decided that instead of being pushed to teach the curriculum at the pace that I was teaching it, for the students to take these high stakes tests again, right? And these tests matter. They follow the kids, through their educational career. And these students who, again, wall up about math, but math is a standardized high stakes test across the country. And it brought me to this place to decide, like, I just want to teach my way. I just want to help the way that I feel like it's meaningful to the kids. They should be invested, or they should at least want to do it, right? And if we're forcing them to do it, they're not invested. And so I'm wasting a lot of my time and energy trying so hard at this level, right? At this middle school level, moving into high school level, to get these kids to care about something that the state and the district and the admin want them to care about, because they're going to be a number at the end of the year for them to be able to say, look, the kids grew. And a lot of that work came from me helping them grow. And so instead of driving the issue of students must learn the material. I want them to want to learn the material. And if they don't want to learn the material, that's okay, right? That is okay. I don't want to force it down their throats. I don't want to force anyone to learn something that they don't want to learn. I want them to learn because they want to learn. And if they want to learn something that will help them in the career choice that they make, or if they just want to learn it just to overcome their fear of not liking something, or their fear of not being able to do something, or they absolutely love the subject and want to continue to get better, right? There's a lot of ways in which someone wants to learn and improve themselves. And at this juncture in my career, or at this juncture in my life, I just want to help the students that want to be helped, right? I want to teach my way. That's me, right? And even if you call me a tutor, I'm still a teacher in my heart. I want to teach you through a private one-on-one or small group setting to learn what it is that you want to know. What is it that you want to learn? What is it that you need to learn? What is important to you? And if learning the concepts that are being taught in school are important to you and you want to learn on a more individualized basis, then I will help you. I will absolutely help you. I will teach you the best way that I know how to teach you, and use all those skill sets that I've learned over the years to help you get better because you want to get better, not because there's a district and a standardized test attached to it, even though those are attached to it. I want to help you because you want to be helped for whatever reason. I don't want to question your reasoning, but I want to help you. I want to serve you in the best way that I can. And thus has blossomed longing to learn, right? Longing to learn has blossomed from the idea that I want to teach my way, but I want to teach the people that want to be taught. I want to teach that's meaningful for the student and for the parent invested, right? Um, Either to fill in gaps or to enhance learning or to support learning, whatever that is, whatever layout that is for someone wanting to learn, I'm here for it, right? Longing, right? A yearning, a desire to learn. That's what longing to learn is. You have a desire to learn, whatever that may be, and I'm here to support you in that process. Now, math and science are my specialty. I have taught reading before at an elementary level, and it's not my cup of tea. I probably don't have the best methods to help with reading. So if it's at an elementary level, I can provide support. If it's at I don't know, maybe a high school level, I don't think I'm the best person for that. Middle school, maybe. I can do research and find ways to help you in ways that you need help, but that is not my specialty. I'm just going to put that out there. But I will help you because you're longing to learn, and I want to help you with that. Social studies, I've taught social studies before, again, elementary level, and I can help as much as I can help. If that is your field, like in a high school setting, it depends, right? Because high school is individualized subjects. And so if you are taking like economics or world history, those are not my strong suit. And so as much as I'd want to help you, I don't think I would be the best person to support you in that. What else can I help with? Higher level math. I haven't taught high school math. I think I can cap at algebra. I wouldn't even say algebra 2. I would need to learn the material myself to be able to help you. And if that's something you're willing to work through with me, or send me things ahead of time so that I can learn it, understand it, and be able to help you understand it, then that's something I'm willing to try. I'm not the trigonometry teacher, not the geometry teacher. Those are not my field. It's just like in science, like I am not the chemistry teacher. I can teach you basic chemistry, but if you're looking to dive deeper into chemistry, that's not my field of science. I am a science teacher, but not high level chemistry, right? Physics, ooh, again, baseline. As a science teacher, you understand logic and reasoning and making things make sense. So, on the most basic level, I can teach you a little bit about chemistry and a little bit about physics. Probably not at the high school level, but I can help you, again, the best way I can. If you send it to me ahead of time, there's something you're needing to study or help with, and you give me the time needed to research and do what I need to do so that I understand it, and in me understanding it, I can help you understand it. I'm willing to do that as well. But algebra, I would say, is where my cap is for math. Test prep, I can help with test prep. Yeah. If you're prepping for a test, again, algebra level. If you're prepping for a test in specific sciences, probably not me. And then I think that's it. Yeah. But I have a general understanding. Biology is my lane. Understanding life sciences is my lane, and environmental sciences are my lane. I wouldn't say chemistry and physics. Those are not my cups of tea. Anatomy, I can help a bit with anatomy. It depends on how in depth. I would have to brush up my own knowledge about that, but I can help. Um, yeah. So I just, again, my purpose in this video is to kind of share and give you a little insight to who I am and why I've chosen to take this path in my along my educational career. And there's more to come, right? All positive things moving forward. All right. I will see you. Hopefully, I've made a believer out of you. If not, it's okay. But I, again, wanted to share with you who I am, where I stand, what I come from, what I represent, what type of teacher I am, what kind of motives do I have and motivation do I have behind starting this new business. And my motivation is that I want to help you learn. If you have a longing to learn, then I have a longing to help you. All right. See you soon, I hope.